Imagine waking up to a message from NASA that changes everything you thought you knew about the universe. Today is March 3rd, 2026, and 6 hours ago, the rules of orbital mechanics were effectively rewritten. The Center for Near-Earth Object Studies just issued a Level 5 alert for an object we've been tracking for months, 3 Atlas. But this isn't a routine warning. This isn't a trajectory adjustment or a minor signal anomaly. What we're looking at is an event with a natural probability of 0. Over the last 6 months, astronomers observed 3 Atlas as a single massive body hurtling through space. Then, at precisely 8 UTC this morning, the Deep Space Network in Goldstone, California, detected a massive spike in radar signals. This wasn't a typical breakup, like a comet succumbing to thermal stress. No, in just 14 seconds, 3 Atlas split into exactly 50 distinct pieces. Here's where it gets unsettling. When comets fragment, their pieces drift apart slowly, scattered like crumbs across the void. Chaos and disorder follow the rules of nature. But these 50 fragments behaved differently. They didn't scatter. They ejected at incredible speeds and then stopped. They stabilized, forming a geometric array, a grid in space, perfectly aligned 240 million kilometers from Earth. Think about that. 50 city block-sized objects, each moving in perfect synchronization, maintaining a rigid formation millions of kilometers from our planet. Rocks don't fly in formation. Ice chunks don't self-organize. I spoke with colleagues at the Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics. The mood wasn't excitement, it was silence, because trajectory models show that these 50 objects aren't heading into deep space. Their velocities have changed, their inclinations have shifted. Every simulation confirms the terrifying truth. They're on a direct intercept course with Earth's upper atmosphere, and they're not aiming for the same location. Telemetry indicates a fan-like spread across continents, different latitudes, different longitudes. This isn't an anomaly anymore. This is a deployment, and we need to understand exactly what happened. To do that, we must examine the moment of separation. Data from March 2nd shows that NASA's DSS-43 antenna in Canberra was tracking 3 Atlas's Doppler shift. For months, the signal was stable. Then, in seconds, it fractured into 50 high-intensity echoes. Skepticism is natural. Instrument error, software glitch, reasonable first assumptions. But independent verification came from ESA's Gaia spacecraft and the Atacama AMA array in Chile. 3 independent sources, 3 different methods, all confirming the same event. This is not a glitch. This is a physical phenomenon. And what follows completely defies our understanding of physics. To grasp the scale of this event, consider how comets normally behave. Comet Shoemaker-Levy 9, for example, fragmented due to tidal forces, creating irregular chunks that drifted slowly along their original paths. Messy, chaotic, entirely natural. 3 Atlas, however, shattered into 50 nearly identical fragments, each around 300 meters in diameter, with only a 5% size variation. Nature does not produce such uniformity. Rocks don't split into perfect clones. The evidence points to something manufactured, something intentional. Then comes the formation. Within 2 hours of the split, the fragments stopped drifting. They stabilized, their rotations synchronized, and they arranged themselves in a pentagonal grid, each object spaced exactly 4,000 kilometers apart. Pause and think about this. For objects to organize themselves like this, they would need energy, propulsion, and a feedback system where each fragment knows the position of the others and adjusts accordingly. This isn't a comet. It's coordinated machinery moving through the void, and the trajectory changes are equally disturbing. Before the split, 3 Atlas was on a hyperbolic path, safely passing Earth without threat. But at 1730 UTC, the swarm executed a velocity change of 3.4 kilometers per second, no exhaust, no solar sails, no visible propulsion, yet the momentum shifted instantly. Every orbital model confirms it. This grid of 50 objects is not scattering randomly. It is forming a wide cone aimed at Earth, each fragment targeting different continents, maximizing coverage. Now, consider the spectroscopy. Observations from the KEK Observatory in Hawaii and the Very Large Telescope in Chile revealed that these fragments aren't made of rock or ice. They are metallic, composed of refined alloys, including titanium material that requires industrial processing. Space does not naturally forge this kind of substance. Combine this with the formation flying and velocity changes, and we're no longer in the realm of astrophysics, we are entering ballistics. At 2315 UTC, the Deep Space Network detected something previously dismissed as noise, a 2-3 second pulse from the fragments. But this wasn't random. The swarm was transmitting to itself, a high-frequency peer-to-peer network, synchronizing its internal telemetry, coordinating its flight paths. These objects are self-aware. In a functional sense, they know where each other is, and they are acting together. At this point, the evidence is overwhelming. Coordinated separation, non-gravitational acceleration, artificial composition, inter-object communication, it all points to one conclusion: 3 Atlas was never a comet. It was a carrier, a delivery system, and the payload has just been deployed. The pressing question now isn't what these objects are. We know, machines. The question is why they are here, why they waited until they were this close to Earth, and what they intend to do next. The timing of this deployment is chilling. Calculations show that these 50 fragments aren't slowing down, they're accelerating. They're on a collision course with Earth's upper atmosphere, and the arrival window is precise, 36 days. But these aren't ordinary meteorites. Each is metallic, reinforced, and city block sized, built to survive re-entry. Imagine 50 objects of this scale entering our atmosphere at Mach 25. The shock waves alone would be catastrophic. Yet, strangely, these objects don't behave like weapons. At 23 UTC, the lead fragment, Probe Alpha, performed an action that stunned astronomers. It stopped accelerating and oriented its primary sensors toward a target that should have no relevance to a natural object, Earth's satellites. Every observation we've made, the formation flying, the refined titanium composition, the peer-to-peer communications culminated in this precise behavior. Probe Alpha is actively observing our orbital infrastructure, not Earth itself. And the discoveries didn't stop there. At 1:14 UTC this morning, the Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia intercepted something unprecedented. For the first time, we didn't just detect the hum of communication within the swarm, we captured the content. Probe Alpha transmitted a signal that perfectly matched the encryption protocols of the GPS satellite constellation. In milliseconds, it logged in, bypassing military-grade security. If this were a natural event, it would defy all reason. Rocks do not understand GPS. Ice does not hack satellites. Yet here it was, executing what appears to be a fully synchronized access operation. The implications are staggering. If these objects can manipulate global navigation systems, they could disrupt financial markets, power grids, air traffic, any system reliant on GPS timing. Within hours, the Pentagon initiated a global maintenance reboot of the GPS constellation, an unprecedented measure in 3 decades, just to regain control. This action alone underscores the severity of what we're facing. And then came the final revelation. Probe Alpha transmitted one more packet, a set of coordinates on Earth's surface. Not random, not a city, not a military base. A single location, the South Pole, specifically the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory in Antarctica. The precision is astonishing. If this were a coincidence, it would be the greatest in the history of the universe. If this is first contact, the swarm is bypassing governments, targeting critical scientific instruments directly. And if it's hostile, the strategy is clear: blind our detectors before any further maneuvering. Every hour, the swarm draws closer. Each observation confirms the same terrifying reality: 50 coordinated, metallic objects with propulsion, intelligence, and intent. 36 days remain until impact, and Earth is watching, tracking, and scrambling to respond. The clock is relentless. As of March 3rd, 6 UTC, telescopes across the globe are tracking the swarm in real time. Instruments at the James Webb Space Telescope, the Very Large Telescope in Chile, and observatories from Hawaii to West Virginia are streaming continuous data. Each new observation only deepens the mystery. The swarm's formation is flawless. Its acceleration, though minimal at 0.08 meters per second squared, compounds over millions of kilometers, allowing precise targeting. These aren't random meteorites, they are machines capable of aiming. Trajectory analysis paints a horrifying pattern. The 50 probes are spacing themselves strategically across the globe. Probe 1 is heading toward North America, Probe 2 toward Eurasia, Probe 3 toward South America. Each fragment appears to cover the maximum surface area possible, almost as if mapping a global surveillance grid, or worse, preparing a synchronized arrival. The probability of this pattern occurring naturally is effectively zero. Every model shows intention. Every data point confirms coordination. Spectroscopic analysis confirms the artificial composition. Titanium alloys dominate the material profile with radar-absorbing properties that made initial detection difficult. The uniformity of these objects, combined with their geometric formation and peer-to-peer communication, demonstrates engineering on an unprecedented scale. This is not a celestial coincidence. It is deliberate, and yet the behavior continues to defy conventional physics. Probe Alpha's orientation toward Earth satellites, combined with a decryption of GPS signals, suggests capabilities far beyond anything humanity has deployed in orbit. For a moment, the situation shifts from astrophysics to cybersecurity in space. The swarm is not merely traveling through the void, it is interacting, analyzing, and integrating with our technological infrastructure. Governments are responding, but they are in uncharted territory. Emergency sessions at the White House, Pentagon, and international space agencies reflect the gravity of the situation. All tracking and reconnaissance networks are on high alert, yet each hour brings new, unexpected data. The swarm accelerates, adjusts its vectors, and communicates internally. Its actions are precise, predictable in pattern, but utterly alien in method. The deeper we analyze, the clearer it becomes. We are witnessing not just an astronomical anomaly, but a coordinated operation. Every object, every maneuver, every transmission points to intelligence and intent. Nature cannot explain the 50 identical metallic probes flying in formation, performing real-time course corrections, and interfacing with Earth satellite systems. The implications are existential, and the window to understand or respond is narrowing rapidly. As the hours pass, the swarm's behavior grows even more alarming. Every observation confirms that these objects are not passive, they are active, adaptive, and precise. Non-gravitational acceleration continues, shifting their trajectories slightly but deliberately, like clockwork adjustments. The delta V we've recorded cannot be explained by natural forces. There is no outgassing, no solar sail, no tidal influence, only deliberate propulsion, and these subtle maneuvers are cumulative. Over millions of kilometers, they allow the probes to align perfectly with their intended targets on Earth. Telemetry shows that the swarm is operating as a collective system. Each probe is aware of the other's positions, velocity, and orientation. The high-frequency communications between them form a real-time network, syncing their internal clocks and flight patterns. They are coordinating an arrival window, ensuring precise entry into Earth's atmosphere. This is not random debris. This is an orchestrated system of machines capable of global reach. The most unsettling aspect is the signal intercepted by the Green Bank telescope. Probe Alpha, the lead object, didn't just communicate with its peers, it interfaced with human technology. It decrypted GPS protocols within milliseconds, a task that would take our supercomputers weeks. The implications are staggering. If these probes can override navigation, they could disrupt everything from air traffic to financial markets. Governments were forced to take the unprecedented step of temporarily shutting down the entire GPS constellation to regain control, a measure that underscores the extraordinary threat. Then there's the final revelation. Probe Alpha transmitted coordinates on the surface of the Earth, not random, not military, not a populated city, but the South Pole, specifically the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory in Antarctica. The timing and precision suggest a deliberate action. If these machines are hostile, they are blinding Earth's high-energy particle detectors before any further operation. If this is first contact, they are bypassing governments and targeting scientific instruments directly. The intent remains uncertain, but the consequences are potentially global. Every piece of data paints a consistent picture: 50 identical metallic objects operating with intelligence, precision, and intent. Formation, flying, non-gravitational acceleration, artificial composition, peer-to-peer communication, and satellite hacking. This is not nature. This is design. And in just 36 days, they will intersect with our atmosphere. The world is watching, tracking, and analyzing, but the clock is running. As we count down to the arrival, every observation deepens the mystery. The swarm's precision is uncanny. It has synchronized its flight paths, verified its position against our orbital assets, and adjusted velocity in real time. These aren't meteors. They are machines, built to survive re-entry, coordinated to strike with global coverage, and capable of interacting with Earth's technology. The scale, intelligence, and timing are unprecedented in human history. The implications are profound. If these objects impact their intended coordinates, they could disrupt satellites, GPS systems, and scientific instruments. The Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory is now on high alert, monitoring flux from the swarm, while global observatories remain in emergency lockdown. Every hour brings the swarm closer. Each maneuver, each transmission, each adjustment confirms intent. And yet, for all the alarm, the ultimate question remains: why? Are we witnessing a hostile act, a prelude to something we cannot yet comprehend, or the first evidence of intelligent extraterrestrial technology interacting with Earth? The precision, coordination, and ability to interface with our satellites leave no room for natural explanations. The evidence points to intelligence, planning, and an understanding of our planetary systems far beyond our own capabilities. In 36 days, the world will witness confirmation. Telescopes are pointed, detectors are active, instruments are recording every signal. The countdown has begun. Whatever 3 Atlas truly is, it has already challenged everything we thought we knew about physics, technology, and our place in the cosmos. The question now is not if we will see it, but if we will be ready. As the swarm approaches, the responsibility lies with every observer, scientist, and citizen to pay attention. Watch the data, understand the trajectory, and stay informed. Because the next 36 days will redefine our understanding of the universe and possibly our survival. If you want to stay on top of every update, every analysis, and every breakthrough about 3 Atlas, subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications, and follow along as we track history in the making.